Frosty Tools. Said. Benefactors keep the lights on at Frosty Tools. To prevent messages like this one, get great perks, and help support the tools, become a benefactor at velvethammer56frostytools.com/dashboard. Stream Elements. Said. Velvet Hammer 56 is now live. Streaming Chivalry 2, Friday Night Fights. Chiv Kartel, CK, vs HKG.
Welcome to another edition of Friday Night Fights. Tonight, a rematch between the Chiv Kartel and HKG. HKG Argon rallying the troops. We saw the best performance from HKG against Vex when they had their discipline in full effect from the opening bell. So, nice mix. I like that. Actually, this is Black Knight. Oh, he goes flying with his drip was really cool. So, Argon now pausing to reflect. The bear being tossed for good luck. So unfortunately there was a little bit of a bug in the time system, so we missed the epic showdown between Chiv Kartel and Equilibrium. It did end up going Equilibrium's way 3-1. I ended up watching it on one of the participant streams. Seemed very competitive, so hopefully we will get a rematch here soon and be able to actually broadcast it. But tonight, we're going to see how can HKG rally back from their defeat at the hands of Equilibrium.
L7_Legion.
Welcome in, Legion.
A lot more goofing off by HKG before this match.
Yeah. Yeah, they seem to be less focused. Let's see here. I think we're getting started here pretty soon. I don't know. I thought it was going to be 25v25. It looks like we do have some extra HKG. So maybe it'll be close to 25v25 tonight. Let's check out some of the participants on the roster. HKG Apollo. Oh man, I can't. Is it Yaboomba? Whatever. You know what? I'm not going to do this until we start because then people's names are going to change. But Noble Beaker, Mystero, Chilbro Baggins, Chronicle, Icebergen, HKG Crip, Carl from HKG, Stony Spider, Facetious Lie, HKG Rabbit back in action. We haven't seen Rabbit in the last couple of matches. Argon the Second, Sledge, Honeybun in the spectator cam. Some of the names for CK: Pew, Galombi, Soap, Dog is a CK member. 17, Immense World, Shivering Cow. Some of these people, I don't know what team they're on. Mad K, Ratman, Big Ol' Jar of Dirt, CK Michael, who I believe we gave the All-Star Award last time. Balls Mahoney, Normal, Balrog, Quintero, MJ, Holy Armor, did we say that? Koi's Jambo. So many of the same names. CK able to bring a strong lineup no matter what combination of players they bring. HKG looks like it still has a still recruiting maybe some ranks, so that's great. Be able to keep these player numbers up. Looks like we're about maybe a 22v22 at the moment. So stand by. We'll get started here soon. Maybe check out some of the drip. Michael with the bear. HKG Apollo rocking the blue and white of the Agathians. Soap with a nice lavender. I wonder if he smells like lavender soap. HKG Noble. Looking good. Agathian gear with a little Mason armor. Interesting. Argon, of course, looking like a king, I guess. That gold armor. Immense, just going with a basic yellow. Okay, you know. No flair needed when you have talent, I guess. Neil Dane is interpretive dancing prior to the game. It's very cathartic. Flutterbug back in action again. Flutterbug, I think, played in the last several matches, so definitely improvement there and becoming a regular performer. Stony Spider. Nice tech at the duels, so nice job, Stony Spider. Creating a little bit of distance, although couldn't get the jab going. Nice job. You can see the keeping the space. Oh, taken out by I Own HKG, whoever that is. Carl. Dang, Carl will be spanking some booty. Bromista. Representing the furries. Alright, we're gonna pause the band here. Let me see, what are the maps tonight? Let's see, crowd is not yet ready. Get ready here.
Oops. L7_Legion said, does HKG have GKC members with them?
Is that what that is? GKC? I don't know. Is GKC a clan? It looks like maybe at least one had that name. Let's see here. Whoa, that's loud. Hold on. Settle down there. Let's see. Let's see. Look at the scoreboard.
L7_Legion.
Yeah, GKCL Bromista.
Golden Knights something.
Golden
They
Knights.
wear
Okay.
yellow.
Yeah. G looks like at least one. I've not heard of that group before, but that's cool. Maybe you gotta get some of these like smaller groups to partner up with a larger clan like HKG to get some larger game experience. But I don't, unless one of these other people that are not named with a tag are from that group, I only see the one.
L7_Legion. Said. Less than 10 members, I think.
Less than 10.
Stream elements. Said. Electra_Cal
Oh, Cal,
just
thank
subscribed
you.
for 44 months in a row,
Alright.
PogChamp.
Alright. Appreciate it. Shit, what did I just do? Okay, I think we're gonna get started here.
Electra_Cal. Said. Electra 142 Blackout Wave.
All right, so I was gonna see what the maps are tonight. Let me see what they said. Foulmire and Rudehelm. So two of the more popular competitive maps. So I think maybe these teams wanting to practice. I'll say Foulmire is definitely in competitive play. Seems to be an offensive favored map. We're gonna see what kind of strategies each team, each team pulls out on defense. Fix my, But first, the highest paid man in Chivalry 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, it's time!
Round one underway. Thank you, Bruce Buffer. You're worth every penny. So it looks as though CK will start on offense. HKG immediately, instead of falling back to the third cart, looking like they're going to push to engage a little bit. That may bite them in the ass if they can't get enough reinforcements to that rear cart. You can see there's a squad for CK. Here we saw them last week. Here they are again, back in action. The Plague Doctor squad. It looked as though they were threatening to get a flank maneuver on that last cart, but they were battled back by that respawn. You can see the main push here by CK's front line, though, reaching the cart. Nice barriers, though, by HKG. So I thought maybe it was going to be a rough start, but they have secured the area. Sheets now trying to sneak through with that pickaxe, doing extra damage to the objective. Does get collapsed on by about 6 Masons. Isn't able to actually damage the cart. We're going to see now as the Plague Doctor squad and some of these knights now are collapsing on this left side path. HKG picks them up good, but they don't see Balrog sneaking in behind. Rabbit finally sees him battling one-on-one. Polax with the greatsword gets some help from HKG Beaker, who does take Rabbit down, but that has caused the defense to scramble. You can see CK able to sneak attackers on all aspects of that prisoner cart. So the third one does fall. Nice work. HKG tried to hold on to that third cart, but just too many angles having to cover by the attacks, and now CK is on to the next objective. Fix my thing here. I wish there was an easier way to do this without showing all my shit. Balrog is a problem. Balrog is, we've seen Balrog play the objective in several of these matches, especially on this map. So I think this may be a strong map for CK Balrog. We see now as we advance on the gates, HKG setting up their fortress. You have walls and spike traps on this right side bridge. But as I've said many times, if you cannot fight in front of the barriers, it limits their effectiveness, because all it takes is a little bit of time for the attackers to destroy them. Now CK able to fight their way through the defense and have secured control of this right side. I don't think HKG will be able to get people back on the spawn. What is this person? Koi's, I don't know, doing some sort of martial art practice in the corner there. Now the second petard is planted on that right side gate. So we are on now to the third phase. CK rolling. HKG gonna have to figure out how to rally the troops. The strategy will be, of course, to control the VIP peasant for as long as possible. This is a hostage situation. Michiel is the VIP hostage. CK going right for it, though. Nice barriers but here once again, CK Balrog sneaking in, jumping on top of the objective. And I think Michiel is about to be freed. Balrog once again playing the objective. Freeze Michiel. Should be short work for the rest of these prisoners to be freed. CK now running on all cylinders. And despite the tactics, you can see Michiel is just pausing to survey the scene, perhaps relieved that he was freed so quickly, perhaps a little stunned that now Henry is the last prisoner left. So HKG rallying to keep Henry in his cage. Here comes CK Glomby, though, doing some damage, countering and essentially using the attacks to counter. You saw, I think it was, once again, Balrog and maybe, I'm not sure who was playing engineer there, but just too much damage on the prisoner cages. CK now moving on to the bridge. HKG, you can see some of them are suiciding. I don't know if that works in your favor or not. I think this might be the play as Bro, Mista, and Noble engage the Agathians. I think this is a better play, even though you're going to lose the troops. It buys some time for the reinforcement waves coming from the keep to advance to the objective. So you can see this now a pretty sizable defensive wave coming for the Masons. So nice job. I think that's the better play. You know, you're not going to win that battle, but if you can slow them down to at least buy your defense some time to set up between the first and second objective like this. Well played by HKG. They're going to have to find a way to stop this blue tidal wave, though, as the front line of CK is just dominating this center position here, creating a lot of space. And then for the flankers, you can see there's some of the Plague Doctor squad moving on the left side. You can see another member of the Plague Doctor, at least the committee here of Plague Doctor mask wearers, has now collapsed on the right. But really that front line creating that space for the flanks to move forward as well. CK now deciding that they are going to control the line of scrimmage just outside the second objective area, which should allow the couple of people here to secure it. Rabbit trying to get in behind the lightly defended objective, gets a little bit of damage done, but the most he can do is have some of the Agathians turn their attention back to the objective, and now we are on to the second to last. Well, I guess technically this is the third to last, but the gates, which tend to fall rather quickly. We're going to see, I think, CK, we've seen them take this, all three ways, knocking down the front door, beating down the side door, and then sneaking people inside to pull the lever. Looks like the front door is going to be just as good as any approach now. The front line continues to move forward. Kills definitely in the favor of the attacking team, but only about 90, so not as bad as it could be, but some of those kill ratios really good. Dog, Aglombi, and Sun God leading the way for CK, Undead Dirge, Honeybun, and Beaker for HKG. Nice walls being set up on the right side. We're going to see if there's any tactics to kind of move along this side. I don't know if those tactics are really required every match. Here we go. You see the Plague Doctor squad flanking around. That seems to be their primary objective, is to flank around, secure objectives. Now they do secure this right side objective. They're going to, I think the HKG respawn was on the other side. Yeah, left side here. So not a very good respawn for HKG. Bad luck. They're going to see now with this next respawn coming from other side. You can see they have managed to secure left and center cranks, but the right side crank is still cranking. So nice walls preventing access by that right side respawn. HKG, I'm sorry, CK really, you can see the barriers. Once they secure the space they want to hold, they have effectively used those barriers to then prevent access. But CK, yeah, HKG, hey, your boy Crazy, welcome. And yes, it's CK versus HKG. This is round one. CK is on attack. Looks like Nildane. Oh, no, is that right? Who's this? Yeah, Nildane will be the champion. Took a little damage coming at that cage, but already going to bandage up. We're going to see if he stops by to maybe get some of those cabbages or maybe refuel on the bandages. Yep, you can't hate on the cabbages. The cabbages are a good source of fiber in your daily diet. So, you know, I'm sure the champ, after being in that cage for 20 years, was quite hungry, although he looks pretty fit. See now, CK really just unopposed as they move in to this area. I think HKG, look at that. Now, instead of engaging here, they're going to essentially give this space and have fallen back to the pier. So, interesting strategy. We're going to see now that's either going to make it very, very easy. Oh. So apparently the champion has some sort of aneurysm and falls down. You know, maybe it was the cabbage. Maybe his digestive system exploded because of all the okay.
Giving up space means they have to win the big team fight.
I agree, Legion. That's what I was expecting. I was about to expect was that they had to win. I was literally about to say that they're going to have to win that team fight, or else it's going to give a open avenue to the ship. But I guess he disconnected. I blame the cabbage personally. I thought the cabbage was a good move, but. Yeah, apparently that was a poisoned cabbage. Well played by the Agathians. So I guess we are now switching.
How much does that cost?
Oh, man. I don't even know. Well, okay. So we are now in round two. We're going to switch sides. Let me get back to the camera mode here. And CK will now be on defense. We're going to follow Chillbro Baggins. I'm a big fan of his name, as I've mentioned earlier. Advance now on the second cart. We're going to see... It looked as though CK kind of fighting a little bit higher up towards the second cart than normal, but...
Who won the last map?
Yeah, you know, Jacob, I guess HKG won because the champion disconnected and died. So I don't know. I mean, CK was pretty much smooth sailing there, and then all of a sudden the game ended. So, you know, I guess that's a first. We've not seen that before, but you know, maybe he was more frail than he looked after being in that cage. So now CK managed to sort of create a little bit of a front line. They're using those barriers on the right side. You can see a majority of their meat shields there on the left side. They do fight off that push by the engineer. Iceberg, a nice shot with that halberd before falling. So I'm going to guess maybe Mistero is probably the engineer that was sneaking through. We've seen Mistero make some big plays. You know, I was going to comment, you were talking about CK Balrog. I feel like he was really in line for for MVP in that first match. Disappointing ending. HKG Beaker managed to sneak by. No one sees him. Gets a couple of shots with that two-handed spear before eventually being detected by the CK defensive guards here that are patrolling closer to the cart. Looks as though HKG is going to try to sneak someone on the ledge. Alahud tries to go, and I think, I guess I'm going to say maybe he should have jumped farther, but you can see those two Masons falling. Mean he saw that respawn wave. CK now get a banner up, fighting around the banner. You can see they have pushed back out to this ammo crate. This is oftentimes a good place for the offense to launch attacks from. You know, it's a good place you can fall back, heal up. So this could strategically be an important area here for HKG if they want to launch more comprehensive attacks with more people to that last prisoner cart. Right now, though, they're having a little bit of trouble holding the ground. You can see right now, CK with back access means they can use it for ammo and bandages as well. Very intimidating. You can see nice job CK staying in tight formation. So it's very hard. You can see nice spacing. The two of the two-handed spears fighting along the halberd. Look at that Plague Doctor squad. Again, that's going to be really vicious. So look at the length of
HKG
those
needs to
weapons.
all go one side.
HKG needs to group up. I agree. You know, I think you need a main push here, like what we're seeing, and then perhaps once you get enough of an attention, you can send someone like an ambusher or an engineer on like an off run to hit it from a different angle. Because HKG, they can group up, but if CK is still winning some of these team fights, that's only a matter of time that they're going to be able to stay in that space, right? So you can see a lot of the squads. You know, I'm seeing some coordination here between the armor. It could be how they self-identify, but you can see the red helmets, the red and gold helmets with that beetle armor, CK. You see some of the gold and some of maybe the Guardians rocking some of their different armors. Nice job by CK, really picking up all of these different attacks. Here comes, what was that? Summary Star trying to get some damage on that backside. Takes about 5 CK members off of the point, though, temporarily. Can another HKG attacker sneak in? You see, they continuously are pushing this side. Here comes a crew of engineers and men-at-arms. So nice. Go Away is guarding HKG Coco with the Godin Dag. So nice push there by the man-at-arms. You can see Go Away protected HKG Coco long enough to get damage done on that point. So very nice push and coordination by by HKG, not panicking because CK was really controlling the line of scrimmage there. So nice job sneaking through on that left side and completing the objective.
L7_Legion said, good move there.
Yeah, especially with the bonus damage that those engineering weapons do. That was good to kind of that was a good play if it was by design, especially where Go Away was sort of almost like a lead blocker there.
Said, is it game 1?
Hey, welcome in, Evan Hester. This is actually game 2. Game 1 had a very interesting ending. CK was on offense. They were dominating this map, and then right before the champion was going to get onto the pier, he dropped dead, and HKG won the first round 1-0. So lucky break for HKG. You know, this is, it's not like we're playing for money, so CK, good sports, just moving on. And moving on to round 2. CK now on defense. HKG, we're going to see where are they going to try to push. You can see they do have some people pushing up the middle, but probably about 5 or 6 CK defenders. So right now, CK looks like they're distributing their forces fairly evenly between both bridges. Maybe going to rotate if HKG can mount some sort of large-scale attack here. So as some of the petards, interesting play here, it looked as though, wait, I thought maybe he was carrying a petard, but he's carrying a large stick. It does get knocked into the water. I thought maybe we were going to see some sort of water wheel play by HKG, which would be very impressive to pull off against a veteran team like CK. Oh no. A little bit of impatience by Bro Mista. HKG Noble also falling into the water. Dog in a 1v1 with Sledge. Dog, as my speculation, is a nickname for a talented player that perhaps wants to remain unmentioned, so I won't say it again, but just my thought. Michael and who is that? Nildane. Nice 2-on-1 there, protecting this right side bridge. HKG now looking like they're grouping up on the left side. This is, I think you see in public servers that right side get taken a lot more just because of how the respawn waves for the Mason team, they tend to come closer to this left side. Yeah, I think you could ask them. Sometimes they're okay with it, but
hey Steamer, I really love Gay Pride your gameplay, and I would love Gay Pride being part of your loyal fan and to support you. Doubt if you'd mind kindly add up on Discord. Let chat better username.
Well, I'm glad I appear so inclusive. All right, so CK still. What is going on here, Glomby? Glomby just going for the knockout punch. Oh my God, Glomby with the knockout punch of the Archer. Nothing but respect, knocking out an Archer.
Check out previous game
oh my God, so it did look like we were trying to get a little bit of a maneuver up the center avenue. It looked as though I like, oh, nice petard throw, knocking Sun God into the water. Great job. So a lot of action happening on the center route, but none of the petards able to make it through. Dude, I'm sorry. I don't know why watching these guys fall in the water is making me laugh. But you know what? They're trying to play the objective. I don't know, maybe they're a little bit drunk. Need to work on their footing there. Argon 2 now trying to lead the charge. It's very difficult to kill and carry the petards, though. In fact, it's near impossible. Rabbit trying to sneak through. Just the HKG may need to focus a little bit more on protecting these carriers. Bromista once again trying to make it to that center tree. We're going to follow this push here on this right side for a second. Can we see a advance by HKG? Yeah, I think they're going to need to group up, but just really as they're trying to throw these petards, they might be hitting their own team. Yeah, so just CK really you can see the combination of knights and some of these long two-handed weapons, just too much for this HKG team to...
Can I bet on this game on Cal?
Can you bet on... I don't know. There's more people playing it, so perhaps that should be a thing, but I'm a boomer. I don't know about that stuff. I use DraftKings. All right, let's go. Nice push by Oh my God, nice push by HKG. But CK continuously throwing the attackers into the water. I don't know, really, because there's quite a bit of the plague doctors. So I don't know. Someone's carrying on the torch. You can see these plague doctor squad here once again with these large weapons. So yeah, it's definitely oof. you can definitely see some of the same, what do you call them?
Event Hister
Outfits.
underscore
I don't know.
said, most of the flank squad not in.
Well, it's funny because that the I will say those whoever is playing that squad and is doing an excellent job flanking, but I feel like CK's front line has been so dominant that the flankers are almost like just able to play wide and don't even need to wrap around as much. But with 37 seconds, HKG desperate to get someone through. Stony Spider looked like he thought about the middle avenue once again, but just CK seemingly having
Hister underscore
defenders everywhere.
awesome.
So
Thanks for the
after
screens, man.
a unusual loss in round one, I do believe CK looks as though they're going to hold on here as they send that reinforcement wave to counter the last-ditch effort by HKG to push on that right side. So nice job by CK, taking the second round, 1-1 on to, what did I say, Rudehelm? I believe Rudehelm is the second map. So CK showing their dominance once again. HKG, Crib, Icebergen, and I own HKG leading the way for HKG. Quintero, MJ, Holy Armor, once again, Dog leading the way for the defense. So excellent job by CK. You see almost a 230 kill advantage. So HKG just unfortunately, as they were focusing on playing that objective, just unable to get enough kills to clear the way. We are now on to round 3. I think we forgot the bell. I was so stunned by the way round 1 ended. I think the bell guy, I left them off the hook. So round 3 about to begin here. Let's see who's going to be on what team. I'm going to wait a little bit longer so it doesn't put me in the middle of nowhere when I spawn. Oh, too late. So CK will start on attack. HKG very aggressive off of the initial attack. Quite a bit of fighting here on this right siege tower. CK eventually thins out the defensive ranks. Is that a real catapult? No, that was a fake catapult shot. But now it looks as though... What was that? It's as though maybe there was a Mason trying to sabotage the catapult, tried to get a lucky shot inside the right side push here of the CK attack, but unfortunately did not destroy anyone. Glomby now jumping on go away. Immediately surrounded in that 3v1, so CK in firm control of this right side siege tower. We're going to pivot over to the left where Rabbit and Icebergen are engaged in a 2v1 to get some help from Chillbro Baggins and Stony Spider. So this other side, HKG really just pushing back, trying to take advantage of their numbers advantage before now. Here comes that Plague Doctor squad, perhaps being played, according to one of our audience members, by not the normal flank squad. So CK just so deep that they can essentially plug in multiple players to do this job. So 17 kind of serving in that role, or at the very least dressed as a Plague Doctor. But I guess with those two-handed spears, we're seeing him more as like a support player here on this left side. HKG, though, definitely getting the better of this side, but you can see that's at the cost of this other siege tower, which is almost, well, I shouldn't say almost, maybe about 3/4 of the way to the wall. Now we're seeing some of the HKG defenders rotate over just to stop the siege tower. I wonder, though, there might be some benefit to allowing one of the siege towers to get to the end, significantly sooner than the other one. So you can see quite a disparity in how far this siege tower has traveled. HKG, very, very stubborn on the other side. They say, you know what, we're going to at least hold one of these. But now they are going to have to fall back. And can they get enough defenders to stop this momentum here? CK busting through. Facetious Lie in a 6v1. He's falling back, trying to throw some blades, but this could have been a tactical error by HKG, as a lot of their force was fighting on the other siege tower. Now some of the respawns are going to enter the gatehouse, but can they get enough numbers in the gatehouse before CK gets a foothold? And you know they like to take that second floor. Here comes CK trying to secure this ammo crate. HKG, though, sending a lot of reinforcements, trying to get rid of HKG. I don't know if I saw that or not, but something apparently happened. But now another wave of CK attackers pours into the second floor. The flag now back in the blue and white. Oh, just wait a minute. Looks like Masons, though, are not ready to give up. The flag goes momentarily back to the red and black of the Masons before the numbers advantage once again on CK. You can see they are thinning out that second floor. Just so many bodies on the ground for the Masons. They're trying HKG now. I don't think those reinforcements are going to get there in time. So, nice job by CK. Just, I think there's a lesson to be learned there. I think we answered the question. I wasn't sure if there was going to be an advantage or disadvantage to how far. You can see the second siege tower hasn't even arrived at the wall yet. In fact, I think they took the point before it arrived. That's actually, I've never seen that before. So, nice job, I think, by CK taking advantage of a lot of those HKG defenders being out of position.
L7_Legion said, if it was intentional, there could be a benefit.
Yeah, I think, I don't think it would always play out that way. However, I just think that was a little bit unfortunate. I think maybe once they saw that other side was getting close, they should have maybe kind of reinforced early, and then they could have focused a lot of their defense on that one side, instead of having to protect both sides. But, it was... That's why you play these things, right? It's just really more for the experience, and if you care about the strategy stuff, you can adapt or
L7_Legion.
Or try different things.
Said, interesting strategy.
Yeah, I don't know if they thought it out of the way, but they definitely controlled that siege tower, just committing to the numbers advantage and maybe how their respawns were working. So. Now that we've gotten past the 10th stage, though, it's definitely a placeholder stage. This is going to be interesting because, this is sort of similar to the siege towers in that the offensive respawn will be aligned with whichever ramp is farther back. So, the offense will want to advance these as soon as possible, but if there's, a real disparity, there will be sort of a balancing if that wave gets wiped out. So right now the right side seems to be moving at will. You can see through that courtyard area that the left side is also advancing. So right now CK able to split their forces, maybe a little bit skewed towards this right side, but you can see as we pivot over, there's still quite a few CK members now escorting this siege ramp. So perhaps split in about half. HKG Apollo trying to slow down this attack. Get some help from, I don't know who that was, but just too many CK members at the area of attack. HKG now respawning here, deciding to focus on this left side from their perspective siege ramp, which is a bit farther, closer to the objective. But you can see, despite, I mean, I don't care how good you are, when you're constantly in one of these, 1v3s, 1v2s, you're going to have a tough time surviving. I think HKG trying to be aggressive, but they might actually want to be a little less aggressive when they're not able to. When you can see how quickly some of these guys are dispatched here. So I think they're pushing in maybe a little bit too strong, and then they're getting surrounded. Just really tough. I mean, look at all these all-star players here on this right side. I don't know who could withstand a 5v1. HKG.
Legion said. Desperation.
Desperation, yeah. I mean, I do think they're just doing anything they can to slow it down. I think where these objectives, where the HKG has to split their forces, it doesn't really play in their favor. I think there's just too much firepower in this CK lineup. So they are very well versed in fighting as a small group. You can see they do a really good job target switching and then using positioning to just surround the defense. So I think that's the difference so far in the match. We're going to take a quick look at the scoreboard. 251-94. Immense World Dog and MJ Holy Armor leading the way for CK. Honeybun, Al Lahoud, and Mistero leading the way for HKG. So Mistero doing God's work with that engineering kit. I'm sure there he is trying to set something up, creating some barriers on the objective border. But again, they're going to have to find a way to maybe fight in front of these objectives a little bit to maximize the value of these walls. But Mistero doing his job, just creating an obstacle for the attack. Undead Dirge doing his best to fight in front of the walls. Now you can see some of the barriers going down, but some of the attackers just sneaking through. Now, when they did that, you can see that's exactly what HKG wants. They won that group fight. So, that's essentially what you want them to do, but I think right now it's maybe taking a little bit too many HKG members to finish off some of these overextended CK members. But right now, HKG has done a pretty good job keeping CK away from the primary piece of the objective. There's a little bit of a right side push here by Immense for CK. Immense is going to fall back to some of his allies. You can see now they are in a 3v3. So 3v3, nice job by HKG. Insane Jester, though, sneaking in behind as CK have started to control this gallows. This tends to be the area you want to control as it's the center of the objective. Now, as HKG tries to send some players back on the objective, can they get enough to turn the tide? Right now, the flag's still in the favor of the Agathians. So CK, once they grab hold of that gallows, that was all she wrote. Honeybun, I believe, is going to be welcome in Jester Wedge. I believe Honeybun will be the champion. We're going to see here real quick. Yep, HKG, Honeybun. How sweet it is. Nothing. Hey, let me ask you, if you guys have a Honeybun, microwave it or not microwave it? What do you think? Microwave or refrigerate your Honeybun? We'll do a quick food court.
Said. Thanks
for the follow, El Chavo.
Chavo 95.
I personally am all about the microwaving it.
Said. Fridge.
See, I don't hate that, but I'm saying I think both are valid answers. But I'm in the microwave, like the gooey honey bun stage of my life.
Jester
So
West.
Balrog, CK Balrog leading the
Absolutely.
charge on this upper balcony. Honey Bun using the barriers. Nice job protecting the king from the air from the fire pots. So we're going to see, though, how long can HKG defend this upper area. CK now with several attackers. Yeah, Honey Bun said, you know what, I've seen this before. I'm going to use these Malric ones and start hightailing out of here. All immediately in a 4v1. I don't know if the rest of his team got the message. Oh my god, falls into a pit of fire. Tries to battle right back by the throne. You know, that pivot was something that maybe the air had to do, but I think I don't know what's happening in comms, but you definitely have to let your team know, or else that is what can happen. The air gets stuck in a 4v1 disadvantaged position and goes down. That fire pot was especially devastating. I don't know who threw that, but good work by CK. Round 3. They are now up 2-1, and for the final round, we're going to switch sides. We are going to see, can HKG pass the daunting Gatehouse? We've seen CK win on defense on this map at the Gatehouse several times, so that is going to be the real test for HKG. They're going to have to win the team fights. I think that point does play in CK's favor. So tough, tall order. But if HKG can group up and get control of at least one of those ammo crates, I think they have a shot. Now, they do have to advance past the first stage. See, this is what I hate about this stupid. This is what happens if you go to spectate mode too early. Like, it's so dumb. So dumb, Torn Banner. So dumb. I'm flying through time. Flying through time. Where the hell? I took a wrong turn to Albuquerque. All right, I'm going to switch. Here we go. All right, so now, like I said, we switch sides. We have HKG on attack. CK on defense. HKG looking like they are going to, just like they were focused on this one on defense, this might be their favorite siege tower. Looks like they are going to get some attackers on the top floor. HKG Noble and Stony Spider on guard duty. HKG now taking some heat, though, from this Plague Doctor group. Once again, pushing on the flank side and getting some pressure on that catapult. We'll see if they try to take control of it and maybe use it to clear out the siege tower. Right now, they're going to try to do it with some of their ground troops. Balrog and Big Old Jar of Dirt trying to chip away at these HKG fighters that have controlled this siege tower. Ratman circles in with the sledgehammer, looking like your grandpa came out of the cellar with his favorite club.
W Plague Docs.
Yeah, these Plague Doctors have been really dominant. And, you know, like I said, we did miss the CKEQ match. However, when I saw them play, I think it was Vex. No, who did they play on? Oni. I think they played Oni on Sunday. I mean, that group was very devastating as well. So I don't know if you were in that one, but the Plague Doctor team and their strategy, how they're used, is very, very effective. 17 now, just really utilizing that spear with MJ Holy Armor. Very good job. They have to eventually are overwhelmed by more of these respawns. Alahud trying to finish CK17. Great job surviving long enough for that next wave of CK reinforcements. So we're going to see here on this other side, looks like HKG has shifted their focus.
Started in the game against ONI.
Yeah, yeah, that was well. Y'all did a very, very good job, and I think what made I think the drip work is the fact that you all stayed together. So I think it's pretty intimidating when you see a bunch of plague dogs running at you, or even some of these beetle armorers. You can see this red helmet with the beetle armor. I don't know what squad that is, but they seem to be pretty effective as well. Really kind of fighting along the front line, but just doing so much damage that just allows the flankers to succeed. So nice coordination between the squads for CK. They're rotating over now to the left side as they are able to stop that HKG attack on the other side. HKG continuing to get people in the objective. Quintero in a 1v2 gets knocked down by Carl. Quintero now with Sheets, maybe trying it again now with the numerical advantage. Carl from HKG doesn't see Sheets, who gets clubs Carl with that pickaxe. So all it took was a little bit of help for Quintero to now get his revenge with his friend Sheets. HKG now rotating back into the catapult. Not sure who destroyed it there, but man, 17 continues to stay alive here. I'm wondering, yeah, he's got to be, yeah, he's in first place. I was going to say, he's doing really, really well. So 17 continues to hold it down on that right side, doing a good job backing up his teammates and then holding his own when he needs to. HKG Tron now stepping on MJ Holy Armor. Pulls out the sword and then helped out by Insane Jester long enough to pick up that main weapon. Revenge goes down by Synchro. So both sides taking losses as the reinforcements reach the line of scrimmage. Synchro with that two-handed spear eventually just maybe pushes a little bit too far into that numbers disadvantage. But CK holding on to this tower. So HKG with 440 is going to have to decide how they're going to want to play this. Looks like they are, for the moment, just alternating depending on where they have the stronger numbers here. So nice job. HKG Beaker does eventually finish off that 3v1. Now in a 1v1 with Balrog, gets helped out by some of those other attackers. So HKG with a little bit of momentum on this right side. Nice job by some of these attackers that are in the siege towers, kind of helping out that main defensive push. They're getting a little bit of space. Jambo with that two-handed spear trying to use that length. Apollo jumps in, though, with that battle axe. And eventually down goes Jambo. Battle axe now. DC with the executioner axe. We've seen DC a lot in the past use some of the siege weapons, but tries to slow down with the two-handed weapon. But HKG now continues to have momentum on this right side. Even with all of the attention they're getting from the CK defense. Nice fire pots doing damage to both sides. MJ Holy Armor manages to jump over it, though. Nice move. Now in the middle of the HKG attackers, Sledge trying to hold on, but Immense World just a thorn in their side. Eventually it does get supported. I think that's by Sheets once again, who's now up top, but in a 2v1. What the heck? Mystero, I think, accidentally may have taken out. I'm not sure what happened there. Balrog in the 1v1 with Honeybun. Nice duel going on by these two. No one wants to give up. Nice. Honeybun finally wins that match. Honeybun may be single-handedly moving this objective. So excellent play by Honeybun to keep the hopes of HKG alive that they can get to this next level. Now, Summary Star comes up and helps Honeybun, though, very quickly back in a 1v1 now against CK Pew. That Warhammer, very deadly, though. Just not enough stamina. Buys enough time for Rabbit, though, to get in there with, I believe, the Battle Axe. Falls back, doesn't like the range disadvantage. That Hammer, very, very deadly in close range. But HKG, nice job keeping enough momentum on this right side in round 4. Now, here we are to the Gatehouse. The real test begins for HKG. They're going to want to group up here. Nice fallback by whoever that was with the battle axe. Who is this? Oh, Rabbit. Yeah, good job by Rabbit. Recognizing that maybe it's better to wait for some of your teammates to advance. That fire pot, though, doing some devastating work. DC taking out 2 attackers at least with that fire pot. So nice job, nice use of the specials. Iceberg trying to sneak in, but realizing too late that he just had no support. Here comes another wave of HKG. Oh my gosh, tries to jump. Oh my god, the horror. Nice try. Summary star now using the ladders. So just multiple avenues of attack, but just I think the response by CK, you can see they're spreading out. That line just either contracts or spreads out as needed based on the number of opponents. So CK now falling back maybe to heal up and to see what is going on the other side as the other siege tower has now reached the wall. But look at that wall of red, that rotation by CK, just that numerical advantage, very, very strong. Crip kind of observing, not sure what he can do. 1v3 now. You could tell he was like, man, that sounds like a daunting proposition to jump in the middle of all those red jerseys. We're going to rotate over as that wipe has happened on the right side. We're going to see what kind of advantage. Carl, uncertain whether he should fall in. I think HKG is going to have to send people in at the same time. Sean backing up, trying to regroup, but then, oh my god, CK finally with enough time for some of their defenders to rotate back over. So HKG really going to have to decide and not panic on the time here. Which side are they going to push? This right side, now the main point of attack. You can see CK doing a great job sending however many players they need to essentially stop the attack. Let me, excuse me 1 second. We need to fix this. And we're going to see, can they get anyone inside the gatehouse? But CK just setting up shop with those banners, those barriers now, kind of preventing the stairs from being kind of used by multiple players here. MJ Holy Armor kind of stepping in front of the other staircase. HKG now sending some attackers. We're going to see if we can follow the HKG respawn. They really right now are going to need... Oh, wait. What's happened? I was going to try to get in with the respawn, but right now HKG looks like they might have temporarily... Yeah, it looks like they are taking control of the gatehouse. Lots of CK reinforcements. You can see as the banner shifts between red and black and blue and white. So very, very close. Every kill counting. Soap taking out 2 HKG members. Crip now taking, so back and forth. Blue and red, blue and red. Red is Quintero now. Sheets, Ratman. Okay, about 5 kills on the kill feed. CK now looks as though they have fought off that wave, but nice push. I was trying to see where the main attack was by HKG, but it looks as though they had pushed on that second floor. This right side push, though, now is non-existent. We're going to have to see what is happening on the other side. Not a lot of momentum. We're going to see if maybe we can get behind one of these spawn waves. So right now, I guess the way the deaths are happening, you can see only about 4 or 5 attackers are spawning at the right time. It's making it very, very difficult for them to establish a foothold in this approach to the gatehouse. Facetious Lie dismembered, trying to stay alive, but just overwhelmed is now CK once again in full control of the gatehouse. So good push by HKG. We're going to need to see another push in the next minute here, or else time will not be on their side. Noble and Stony Spider trying to get something going on this right side, but just too strong by CK. Too many players just overwhelming the attack. HKG looks as though they've snuck a couple of people in, but not a Cookie Man. Gets knocked off of the wall, as does Mystero, playing something other than Godendag. Nice job taking out 17. Now trying to survive. Gets up to the second floor. Nice try by Mystero. Eventually, though, flanked by some of those CK defenders. So with less than a minute, HKG really going to have to shoot a Hail Mary here. But just, I think right now you can see how half the team is spawning on the left, the other half is spawning on the right. I just think that is playing right into CK's hand. And I don't know. Okay, HKG finally has kind of burst through here, but I don't think they have enough numbers. Here comes another wave on the left side. They do momentarily change it to blue and white. So nice push here. Just like I said, not enough time for the gatehouse progress bar to fill. So CK is going to win it. HKG does manage to hold the gatehouse temporarily near the end. But excellent job. I do think CK, this was going to be the test. HKG had a couple of pushes. I think that's something to continue to work on, is grouping up and trying to maybe secure that second floor, similar to the strat that CK has done several times, and we've seen some other clans do. So nice job by CK. HKG continues to fight hard. We continue to see development. So thanks for both teams here putting on a show tonight. Appreciate everyone stopping by, checking out the stream. We're going to fire up the Friday night fights band and then right out of here. I will be posting the VOD here shortly, and then I'll be uploading it to YouTube. So hope you all enjoyed this episode of Friday Night Fights. Thanks again, CK, HKG. Appreciate the numbers. We had a good 22 plus V22. And so the comp scene's still alive, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get more teams out there. I'm happy to cast any matches that I'm available for. So everyone have a great weekend. I will probably be back this weekend streaming something. But at the very least, I think we will see another fantastic matchup next week on Friday Night Fights.
Lanebird 124 said, W.